Folks, we're in my car today. I know a lot of you keep leaving comments. Matt, your room is so cool. Who did your decor? Do you have an interior designer? Send the link. You're so cool and handsome. I know. But, I always thought it'd be cool to do a video inside the car. It's a very intimate space. Good switch up, So today we'll be talking about something really important. We'll be asking the question, is San Diego too fun? Have we gone too far? Is San Diego a place where career aspirations go to die? Is San Diego a fake Barbie Land? All questions I've had. And I'm going to share my experience, my story on just my year in San Diego. So just to give some context, I moved to San Diego about a year ago from DC, and DC was great, but DC was very career focused, very prestige heavy. People always ask, what do you do? Where do you live? Whereas when you move to San Diego, people are more likely to ask you if you surf before they ask you, what do you do for a living? So quite the switch up. And when I first moved here, I was inundated with activities to do. I mean, I'm talking every single day of the week. There's pickleball, volleyball, spike ball, surfing, yoga, meditation classes, hikes, just anything outside. Like, just go to the beach. Like, there's so much to do. And it was really fun. Like, my cup was really full the first few months, and I definitely spread myself a little thin and got a little burnt out. But the culture here is very much to be outside, to try new things, to meet people. And who doesn't like that? I mean, there's probably some people who wouldn't jive with that, I suppose. But I felt like in DC, I was more of a weekend warrior, and I was just grinding away every day and to enjoy the weekends, I suppose. But being here, it's like every day is a weekend. You're doing something fun and fulfilling every single day with your friends or whatever. So, and once I moved to San Diego, I was like, man, why would I work overtime and stuff when I got other things to do? Like, there's so much to enjoy. But don't get it wrong. I'm still an academic weapon in the workplace for all my employers out there. Still a very exceptional man. And in every city, regardless where you live, there's going to be stereotypes. There's going to be good pockets of people, bad pockets. I mean, you're going to find your people anywhere you go, I think. But generally speaking, San Diego is not a place where people try to make it big in finance like New York, or entertainment like LA, or tech in San Fran, or politics in DC, or something like that. People come here a lot of the times just to lock out. Like, it's just, can we get a break? People come here and they want to hang out. They want to have a good time. I don't blame them. I want to have, when is it my turn to be happy? That's what I was thinking when I was in DC, and now I'm pretty happy. But we got to talk about happiness versus fulfillment, because that's a sort of a big element here. It feels like in San Diego, there are more people who have jobs over careers, where there's just not necessarily a lot of growth or maybe a lot of desire to get into a more challenging, prosperous path, I suppose. And in San Diego, life is pretty simple. People are here to enjoy the environment, and a lot of people are okay with not having complex lives. Like, you surf or you enjoy the beach and you work a job that you may or may not like, but you're just here because it's beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wish I was able to live more of a simple life and be more grateful for just like a couple things, rather than thinking I need all this stuff to be happy or to live a fulfilled life. But life is good here. I am happy here. San Diego is great. But after a year of living here and, really good friend moving away and getting burnt out and doing too much that you get yourself sick and stuff, like, all of these things make you think, what am I doing? I turned 27 too, so it's like, what am I doing? Is this sustainable? Sometimes I feel as though I'm channeling into an inner child and I'm just having fun. I'm just doing what I want to do. I'm playing a bunch of sports and I'm in the ocean. Like, I'm just playing around and it's just awesome, But when you turn 27, you start thinking, what is good? What is the move? Should I have kids soon? Should I be dating more seriously? You know what I mean? So this sort of prompted this reflection. So without overthinking, I am happy in San Diego. But there's a difference between feeling happy and feeling fulfilled in life. And maybe we confuse them sometimes. There is some overlap, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. Happiness is a fleeting feeling. It comes and goes depending on what you're doing, who you're with, and you can't bank on being happy. I mean, trying to live a happy life all the time is not sustainable. There's a word for that. Hedonic treadmill, maybe? Pursuit of pleasures or something like that. And yeah, I feel happy a lot of the time in San Diego, because in my free time, I'm doing what I want to do with people I want to do it with. So I'm pretty happy. And I'm excited for all the experiences I've yet to have. Fulfillment, on the other hand, let me reference my notes real quick. So I wrote, fulfillment comes from an internal sense of purpose and aligning one's actions with their values, leading to a deeper and more sustained sense of satisfaction. So by that definition, I'd say I'm like 60% fulfilled here, perhaps. And let me explain. But first, slurp check. So without having done a deep dive into my values, I do know at a high level that I value strong relationships, community, a humor-driven mindset, introspection, curiosity, creativity, health and wellness, I would say, are all pretty important to me. So let's look into each of those values and see how aligned I am to them and how easy living in San Diego makes it for me to act in alignment with those values. So San Diego makes it really easy to create or jump on opportunities to create community and meet people and stuff like that. So much of what I do here is activity-based, so it requires hanging out in groups and doing things repeatedly together. So by nature, you'll develop some sort of friendships and community along the way. But I still feel a little bit unfulfilled with my relationships, my friendships here. And I'm not sure how much of that is inner work and me needing to reframe the way I think about my friendships. But I do think a handful of my friendships here are surface level and more like a level 1 friendship than a level 3, if you will. And like any city, you're going to find your people. You're going to find people you don't jive with. But generally, I think it's a little bit more difficult for me to meet people I connect with on a really deep level compared to a city like New York, for instance. For humor-driven mindset, this is kind of like just saying, am I connecting with people that have similar sense of humor, are lighthearted, and have a not so serious approach to life? And I would say yes. Generally, I've been meeting a lot of people like that, and that's been really fulfilling. But there's also been instances where I meet people where we're connecting a lot, we're laughing a lot, but it's like, what is deeper than that? Can we please say something? Please tell me something about yourself that no one else knows, or something like that. So a lot of folks here are lighthearted, not so serious. That's great. We geek, we laugh, we have a good time. But sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes I need more than that. Now, for introspection, curiosity, creativity, I'm going to kind of bundle those together because I think they're related. Because I think in order to ultimately create something, for me, I need to think a lot. I need to introspect. I need to take inventory of my brain, figure out what's important to me right now. What do I want to do in the next weeks, months, years? I need time to explore those interests and curiosities and try new things, then to ultimately create something. So to me, that process is all related. And that is one of my biggest qualms living in San Diego, is that maybe a me problem, but I don't have enough time and energy to put the time and energy into thinking and ultimately working on projects and things that don't necessarily pertain to other people and are just for me. I am a simp for an activity. So when someone says, hey, let's play volleyball, I'm going to be like, why would I spend my Saturday afternoon with GPT trying to build an app when I could just go have fun with my friends? So my calendar fills up with things that I love, and I'm having a lot of fun, but, a piece of me is deprived. It's starving, I'm a starving artist, but I'm not even producing anything. It's just, I know I can do it and I want to do it, but it's hard. It takes time. And when there's so much short-term gratification at your fingertips, how can you say no to that, right? Especially if relationships and community are so important to me. And by doing these activities with people, I am ultimately building community and strengthening my relationships. Then it's easier to say yes to those things and let the projects, the podcasts, the videos, the apps, and all that stuff go to the side. So ultimately, I think there needs to be some self-control within myself to just say no to things so that I can create a healthy balance myself. It would just be cool to have other folks doing what I want to do. So for instance, when I was in New York City and I was doing street interviews and stuff, there were so many cool people doing interesting projects, and it's just intoxicating to be around that environment. Whereas I think here in San Diego, it's just less common. So I have to push myself to do the things that are hard because no one's going to push me to do it themselves. Lastly, health and wellness, which is a big thing for me. I think San Diego is one of the best places in the entire country to live if you are concerned about health and wellness and value that, because a lot of people don't drink, surprisingly. I live in Pacific Beach, which is known to be sort of a young party place, but even then I'm connecting with a lot of people who just aren't super interested in that. And like I said, every day you can find yoga classes and meditation retreats and organic restaurants and stuff like that. So San Diego is one of the best places for that. There's just no reason to even discuss it. So at the end of the day, what's the verdict? Do we have too much fun? Depends on who you ask. For someone who is more East Coast neurotic, what's the move, type A, what am I going to do in 5 years? It's a little overwhelming. But for people who were born to surf, forced to work, Life is pretty simple and awesome out here. So to recap, is San Diego the bomb? Yes. Will you be overwhelmed by the number of activities and opportunities? Yes. Will you move here for the best career opportunities? I guess it depends on the industry, but most likely not the best spot, but you can still find them. Will you need to develop self-control in order to maintain your own schedule and do things that are important to you other than hanging out and having fun? Absolutely. Would recommend to a friend. Thank you for joining me on my unstructured analysis of 1 year in San Diego. Thanks for joining me in my car. Do not roast my very geriatric setup. I've got a couple things down there. It helps me back very much. Anywho, see you in the next one.